Back. Sorry. Right. Let's make a swap. Well, tomorrow, adamantite armor. That's the plan. That's the plan. For now, I want to go turbo and get our drops. I think we have maybe some more giveaways for you guys. I'm not sure. We'll have to check. Scatter, he's spoiling again. Spoilerinos. Damn spoilerinos. They're always trying to spoil. Why are you trying to do that? We are gaming. Gimpy is not tricking me into buying any more emotes. That's never happening again. He completely scammed me. Although the dye thing that got us yesterday apparently is a bug, and maybe I'll get my dyes back. Apparently if you do buy them premium dyes, you do get them back. It's on the subreddit. It was linked this morning that there's some problem with it. Nupps, do the title. Yes, drops will be enabled. Alright, Bex, if you remember what it... Oh, yeah, Nupps is all over it. There he goes. He's on it. He's on it. Well, yesterday, in just 2 hours, we managed to reach the same level that I had on launch. Which is wacky. Yeah, Wall Inspector is 16, and my dude is 17. And I've not even... I wonder if Covenants have been dropped. I made a new character because I can't remember a thing on my main. Yeah, and that's why one of the reasons I went to go fresh as well. To see the new streamlined experience. And to see... Oh, have we got a queue? Queueless? And to obviously relearn the basics, because we hadn't played in so long. Look, don't mock my armor. I got fancy armor. It just needs needs mogging, that's all. It just needs a moggy mog. Alright? I got upgrades. See, I can change the skin. There we go. Poggers. See, we're beautiful again. We're the golden gods. Oh, we were going to go see Grace, weren't we? What Final Fantasy should Jordan start with? Oh, 6. The Pixel remaster of 6. She's not ready for 8. She'll be terrified. Yeah, I would recommend Jordan start with 6. But if she doesn't like the retro style, 9 or 10 is fantastic. I mean, they're both really, really good. But I mean, if she's open to the idea and she can learn the turn-based stuff, 6 is fantastic. Good, Boiled Egg. Yeah, so far so good. I'm not playing the new content yet. We made a fresh character to see the new leveling experience, and it's good. What's... Oh, okay, we're going off track. We want to get on the road. Hopefully we can get a mount today. That would be sweet. I would like to get a mount. We haven't played X2 yet. No, I wanted to make sure we did the mainline ones first before we started jumping into, like, accessory pieces. It's a premium armor skin. I think it looks good. I know it's a butterfly. I can see it's a butterfly. I'm not blind, but I like it. No, in fact, I'll message her. Probably makes sense to me. Okay, I messaged her. I didn't, Jeeth. I mean, Jeeth's tricky to compare with, right? Because he didn't, like, 7 Remake either. I already told her she'd start with X. See, I think 6 gets you into that
Methuzahla.
FF zone. And 6's story is so good. Although Locke is a complete piece of shit and should never be allowed to do anything. Locke keeps his fucking girlfriend tied up in a fucking bedroom, man. Locke is no good. Oof. I get it. I think 7 is far too corridor based. I totally get why people don't like 7 Remake. I totally get it. I was fine with it. I was partying on with the chat during those sections, but unquestionably it's very much just in corridors. I can feel a little samey from time to time. 10 doesn't feel it as bad as 7, like at all. I don't think it even comes close. You just like the graphics of 7? Interesting. I never had an issue with the graphics at all. I thought it was really fluid with the gameplay. Yeah, I mean, every game's corridor, right? Every single game. What we talked about in the MMO dungeon video is like every FF14 dungeon is just a corridor. But if you can mask it very well, it doesn't matter. 7 does not mask it very well, or 7 Remake, I should say. You can disguise corridors, make them very pretty. Yeah, he didn't finish out a while. I'm really surprised at that, but I don't know. I mean, Jesse is very much... what's the correct phrasing for it? Jesse very, very much likes technical and very difficult gameplay. Outer Wilds is not that at all. Like in any way. I don't know whether Jesse likes a journey of discovery or not. Which is like my, you know, in my top 5 of what appeals to me in video games. It's discovery and story probably second. Gimpy's, oh, Gimpy's got a mount. I knew it. Oh, Gimpy. Yeah, I bet Jesse was... I would be surprised if Jesse wasn't very invested in the wheel. You know, the talent tree that could be ludicrously min-maxed. Whereas for me, that was kind of a pain in the ass after a bit. Like, I know on a single-player game that's kind of designed to be beaten by anybody, I don't need to min-max that much. And I could just kind of put in what feels right, and I'm probably going to be fine. I don't know why I decided to bully this pig. I knew Gimpy would already have a mount. He's a jerk. I was like, I'm waiting for Hollow Knight 2, but if they have another zone, like the Tooth Zone, I think some people might be completely cringed out. Mount's 25. I'm close. In Hollow Knight 1, there's a zone that is like entirely teeth. Chatter. I like hyper-optimizing in MMOs, especially if I've got something to push for, but I don't look for it in my single-player games. I can't remember the names now. What are we doing here? Destroy the pirates' explosives, burn the pirates' supplies, and set the virtueless ablaze. Oh, I've got to burn you guys. Awesome. Will do. Yeah, they've changed the level bandings. So you, if you like started a while ago and you've got like a mid-level character, you'll go on the same journey. That's why Gimpy was leveling next to me, despite he was like 20. Oh no! Oh no! Okay. I think I'm gonna die. Stun both of them. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. No, I played at release, but my feedback I gave to Amazon was it was just a little too undercooked. It was fine for like the start, and then very quickly descended into some really grindy territory, which was not for me. But that's kind of what they've removed at this point. I haven't felt that at all playing this time. In fact, one of the biggest pluses I've seen to the game so far is the sheer speed and fluidity of it. Yeah, I think if you don't find a good weapon combo that suits your playstyle, I actually don't like the two-hander, which is surprising. I'm going to change it out. I much prefer the one-hander. Hatchet's good. I don't think I've got a hatchet yet. I might try the blunderbuss. That's a new weapon that came with the expansion. What else have we got? We've got the... That's another long sword, so we can delete that. Is it C and then yes. C and then E. We've got a healing staff. We've got the frost gauntlet. Let's try the frost gauntlet. Don't replace that. Needs some leveling, obviously. I think it does slow enemies as well. The ice gauntlet. I thought I picked up a blunderbuss. Oh, I do. I have one there. Okay, let's try the blunderbuss. Oh, it's like a shotgun. It does really poor people damn, though. Let's get some a skill tree unlocked with it. The thing I'm looking for on a bridge. What am I looking for here? Roleplay as a Texan? Yeehaw, baby! I'm on my way. Let's set this boat on fire. Xenoblade sounds anime. Not trying to get me in another anime game, are you? I'm joking. I know what Xenoblade is. You're always trying to drag me down that road, dude. Oh, we got the death thing on. Fuck. You're always trying to drag me down there. Oh, shut up, Bex. My outfit is on point. I bet your character looks giga-poor. Shut up. I'm a beautiful butterfly. Game is super busy. I know it's an expansion launch, but in these early level zones, still super busy. Oh, I've just got to destroy explosives. I wasn't reading the quest. Classic. Enter Dead Man's Cove. Oh, we got a little mini dungeon.
Stop taking my money with your good content.
I'll do my best. Defeat Captain Ledamore and destroy the enchanted altar. This guy got to be an absolute beefcake. I sense beefcake coming. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to FF14 next week. It's always weird that the new content is out and I feel like I can't play it for streamer reasons. But it'll all be that more fun next week. No, I don't mind. Oh, we got a bow. Ooh. Could be tempted to go bow. New boots. New boots. Okay, our boy blocks everything. Block that, bitch. Oh, he did. I'm watching him. Can I block his gunshot? Ha! Idiot. That's what you get, see? If you can block bullets, then so can I, dumbass. Druggy loser. How do we get where we're supposed to go? This way? Wayfinder? Wayfinder, I think, just has a bit of an uneven start and then really breaks down to its own game. The only issue that I found with it, and Nupps agreed with me, is that pugging does not feel like the play. Whoa, who's this guy? Okay, this guy looks like he might be Chief Beans. Is this a rare? I think it was. Yeah, playing in a group in that game is really fun. Where you're both like on the same... You're both on the same idea of what you want out of it. It's actually very, very, very similar to Warframe. Like, if you pug in Warframe, you can end up feeling just left behind as everybody else just gets on and gets everything done. Because they, you know, those guys who've played it a million times. We need to go up there somehow. I don't like entering a dungeon and, you know, the boss has already been pulled and it's at like 70% before you even get into the room. Things like that. That's the only thing that I'd like. If you didn't do that and you played with like one friend or solo, I think there's a really fun game there. Really, really fun. If New World carries on like this, I'll happily come and play this. Happily. Check out its endgame. I'll have to see what its endgame's like, because if they've changed the start this much, I'd be really curious what their endgame looks like now. That'll likely be uncovered in the next little while. Did I try out the flail? I haven't got one yet. I'll happily try one when I get one. We can upgrade the blunderbuss, can't we? We can. What can we get? Net shot. Okay. For routing. The shrapnel blast fires 5 shots in a horizontal fan in front of you, pushing you backwards. Each shot will deal 50% weapon damage. Chaos. Oh, grenades. Yeah, we'll go grenades. That was me. I did that. I killed that guy for you guys. I went through such a maze to get... That guy's 33. Chad. I have one, it's white. Oh, I do. Alright, sure. Right. Yeah, people who level in games are fucking nerds. There's a huge MMO resurgence. There's like 4 or 5 coming out in the next 7 months or something. I'm still going to play the Dune one, and I know it's going to suck. But I don't care. I'm going to play it. And you can't stop me. I'm going to play it. Podcast is in like 3 hours or so. I'm not going to be mean to Zeppler. Oh, can we fast travel? No, because I'm in combat. But I mean, she's hosting. I've been told I'm pretty easy to talk to on podcasts because I'll just go. But maybe I should do the first couple of answers like, yeah, no. Just sit there. What did you... Let's say she asked something really simple, like, so what did you enjoy about Final Fantasy 14? Let's go. Story. Oh, get lost, man. Nupps, why do you look like you keep slaves? I swear to God, Nupps, you look like you keep slaves. You absolutely do. A 100%. There is nothing more that I see on your character, Nupps, than you look like you have slaves. That's this. He calls it a harem. No, that's the kind of... He's like... he looks like DiCaprio in... fuck, what was that Tarantino movie? Django. Looks like he hosts Mandingo fights or some shit. I don't trust him. I don't trust that Nupps fella. That mustache says a lot about a guy. Look in Discord. Who's messaging me here? John one. Oh. Oh, he's being a doctor. This guy. I'll read that soon. Nupps does... Okay, this is what you see when you see Nupps' character. That's what you see. I am way more correct. I am so much more correct. That's what I see. That is exactly who he is.
It's pretty shit.
That is exactly what I see.
The new Castlevania show?
Well, on Netflix? No, I didn't know. I like Castlevania, but I mean, I haven't played many of the modern ones. I did play... I tried to get... shit. It's not called Castlevania. It's a game made by the Castlevania devs. Yeah, I played it on the Xbox with the kids. It might be called Bloodstained. Yeah. It was nice, but the kids didn't like it, and I don't like playing consoles on the television, so I kind of left it there. I think they might have had more fun with some of the original Castlevanias, or Super Castlevania, something like that. Rondo of Blood or whatever. I haven't got a mount yet. Because I'm poor. Yeah, but I'm not buying it twice. Oh, it was on Game Pass, actually. I think I got it on Game Pass. Oh, shut up. What size? What? How many people do we need for a dungeon? Is it 3? Do you swim in this game? Five. Alright, we might need a couple of puggers then. Dex is probably really poor. I can't remember if you can swim. Testing. I don't seem to be able to float in this armor. Yeah, I'm not floatable. Okay, it looks like we want to go through here then. Right. You can't swim and it's lore-based. What's the lore reason? Honestly, I should not be able to swim in this armor. I'm fine with it. The lore is you never learn how to swim deep. And lo, the people of New World never learned to swim. Therefore, no one in the game can swim. Okay, everybody has a mount. Fuck off. You can honestly suck my balls. Is there a fast travel point around here? Montauk Exhibition. So these are all the areas, I think, were for side quests and mission boards. And they're there now as optional content to come to these areas, I think is what they've done. I just moved all the experience to the MSQ. Although I do feel a little maybe I'm falling behind the leveling curve. We should get 17 out of this. But everybody around me is higher level. These nerds have been playing all night. That's what it is. It's not me. It's everybody else. You need 25 for a horse. You checking Star Wars, The Old Republic? I'd have to go back. I wonder if I've still got my account. I have... I mean, it won't be of any gear anymore, and I don't know what the level cap is if they ever changed it, but I have a 50 Juggernaut in that game, I think. One thing I'll be watching for with that is whether they tightened up the netcode. Like, it was so disjointed sometimes. God, I swear to you guys, if I'm being totally fucking honest, I would absolutely, in a heartbeat... Okay, I like the flail. This feels really good. It's meaty. Flail and shield. Arcane smite. Leap forward and strike the ground with arcane force, dealing weapon damage to all targets. Leave behind a hazardous area of the impact point. That sounds good. Barrage. Sprint forward and then do a basic attack. Let's try the leap. Let's go leapers. But anyway, like I was saying, if I'm being truly honest, at this point, if I could just completely eBay or do a pay-to-level cap characters in MMOs, I would absolutely do that. In a lot of... Just so I could... You know, games with raids in. The games with raids in, I would totally do that just so I could play the raids. Well, I don't expect any MMO to have a story. This flail is awesome. I don't expect any game to have a story on par with FF14. Like, if they did, I would happily play the story, but I don't expect that to happen.
Why we can't have nice things, SMH.
Leveling sucks, man. I'd rather have a nice, concise story that gives you your abilities and you're on your way. And then the story can begin. And take out a big part of playing MMOs. It's a part I'm done with, Nupss. If I think about how many characters in various MMOs I've leveled over the years, and how many hours of my life it has taken to do it, I'm kind of okay with it, calling it a day. You didn't enjoy 1 to 120 in WoW? Not 12 times. I don't mind doing it once. Once to introduce to the game, one to understand the gameplay loop and what the abilities do. I think that's fine. But, it's kind of the argument I had with Ian. I'm like, you know, when they still have... I mean, they still do it to this day in WoW, where there's like a tax.
I can't log out. I'm addicted.
You're addicted? Oh, you bought it yesterday? Yeah, yeah. They still tax you on sharing resources you found on your main for your alts. And like, I don't get it. Why? Like the legendary currency, right? That was in Shadowlands. That fucking dust or whatever it was. You can give it to an alt, but we're going to tax you like 30%. Why? I just want to play my alt and use legendaries. Can I not just have it? I've clearly farmed it already, because I have it. They still have a week-long upgrade systems running for Shadowlands for some reason. So weird, isn't it? What else do we get? Arcane Vortex. Swirl the flail above the player's head, dealing 4 rapid hits of weapon damage in a 3-meter radius around the player. After the first spin is completed, trigger a 3-meter blast of energy, granting 10% empower to all allies. So I DPS boost people. Poggers. Let's take it. Oh shit, did I just... Oh my god, they let me respec for free? This is outrageous. This is outrageous. What, in case I choose a talent I don't like it, I should be stuck with that decision. I should be stuck with that decision for my folly. You can respec your stats as well. Is there no end to the hand-holding? Is there really no end? It used to be that when you made a wrong talent decision, you had to replay the whole game. And now they just give it to you on a plate. Yeah, 100G. Do they still have the crazy price increase on the classic servers? Because you're playing Classic Wrath, right? Hello.
Well, here we are. This is the moment of... I don't know what...
I imagine they do, because they really wanted people to do that. What else have we got here? The old dog's rapier.
And that Lochner does not escape.
Another rapier.
Defeat those villains.
Okay.
Destroy that damn staff.
We got potion pouch.
I look forward to a triumphant return.
Nice. More health potions. The concealed vault. Soul mote, life mote. Okay. What is this? A magnificent dress. Okay, that's for crafting, I guess. Drop, split, link to chat. The recipe for stuffed squash. Learn. Schematic to make a bookcase. And more music. Don't know how we play music yet. That was due to dual specs, kind of steep though. Yeah, like I never got it. I never got it. They still abide by that. At least a lot of the old school devs. But like as the main tank of my guild for like 6 or 7 years in a row, telling my guild I can't do a dungeon with them this weekend because I've got to be doing some PvP. What the hell? Help! EY. I guess whatever that was on the floor was bad news bears. Are we waiting for something to spawn here? Everyone's chilling, so I'm going to wait here too. Dude, I am a walking debuff machine. I buffed all the damage of everybody around me. I love shit like that. Especially if it means I get to do damage too. The flail feels really good. It's got such a high impact. Using flail with healing staff. Little side quest. Assume that's extra XP when we go back. Damage buff everybody. Like, stun him. I also debuff him to take more damage as well. Look, that guy got fucking shredded when I showed up. That's me. Ooh. They gave you quick escape out of these instanced areas? Nice. The quest item I missed on the first guy we killed. It wasn't up in that tower, it was out here. What's up, Bex? I don't think the requirements for this game were particularly high, Bex. Sounds like a settings issue, that, to be honest, Bex. Take a step lag. Dutch internet, classic. I'm going to stick with this weapon combo for a little while. I really like it. I really like it. Maybe Corsovan? Maybe. I do want to get back to Destiny 2 at some point, though. It's like, I had so much fun in the raids.
Whatever gods are at your back.
I'm not down with a two-hander, honestly.
We speak to the people. We'll tell them the truth about Lochmere in the air. The crown deserves to be worn by a noble ruler.
I can fast travel to there, right?
I'll see you in Pride when combat.
Too many games, not enough time. Yeah, I actually have, I want to kill those bosses in Terraria. I mean, it has that element of being just New Game Plus. Like, it just also, it kind of like resets the game. So all your gear is shit. You might as well have nothing. But those new bosses, and I've had quite a few DMs saying the bosses are very different. They're well worth finding out. The bosses are very different, so I'm kind of curious. Especially because we got... I want to... You know, my biggest gripe right now is that fucking pirate.
Give me that.
I want to mess that pirate up. That guy was a jerk. Oh, we got blue weapons.
Can't believe it. This
Oh,
night business
wait.
runs
What? They're
in my
so much
blood.
better than what we have.
Thank you for bringing
What?
this to me. I'm going to keep it as a reminder.
Oh, I don't really want to use a greatsword, though. Yeah, I don't want to use the Nobble Cleaver. What in the fuck is that? Oh god, I thought it was like a big hairy beard, man. I just tried, I used the Great Axe. I wasn't too happy with the Great Axe.
So, you've stopped the lost conquest of this kingdom. I have to wonder.
Word of your... We were in the tavern after word of your success. And someone meant I would understand. Yes, I know of no...
Can you give me a new, normal sword? Ooh. How do we gem things? This has a gem slot. Attach a gem. Does it give us a gem to put in, like a tutorial? Basic food, cooking, fishing, craft mods. Our inventory's starting to get mighty full. I can't do that. We're not going to use that. I don't like the Great Axe, at least. Rapier is different to Longsword, right? Different talent tree. Got a new musket. We haven't tried yet. Late scene. Let's go back to strength. That levels up with our flail as well. Now let's do that. Jonas Alazar, where are you? Outside town. Okay. Oh no, you can backseat during early MMOs. Yeah, no, don't give a shit about that. This is not a single player. This is not a blind playthrough. Try and make it abundantly clear when we're doing a blind playthrough. You'll say the title if it's blind as well. Oh, that pinned message is for Terraria, I think. Yeah, that was from like early this afternoon. That was for Terraria. Sorry about that. Oh no, it's just been left on. Not a big deal. But those are all side quests, them little yellow boys. But are we moving to a new zone? I think we are. I never made it this far. The first... I think we did. I think the first time we played, we ran all the way here. And then we needed something from our storage unit back here. And by the time I'd made the run back to pick it up and then to run back again or something. Because I ran out of fast travel resource or whatever the fuck it was. Because you had to pay some money for it. I was like, I'm done. All we've done is grind mission boards and run around for ages. I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, you can wait a bit, right, Konami? Have we got any expansions to give away, Mike? Today? I know we gave 3 away yesterday. I found the mission board, by the way. It's still there, poggers. Has anything in the game asked you to use it, Gimpy? A side quest. Okay, okay.
Away with you, ghost.
Are you going to try and teach me to fish? You are, aren't you? He's not asking me to fish. What do we get in the tackle box? Oh, there it is. All right, we have to try fishing.
Read them if you can find them. Replace your ghost with others.
Azar staff slot. Where do we put bait? We have to try fishing. Drop, split, link to chat. Okay, maybe when we go in the water. F3 to fish. Equip bait. Here we go. We're in fresh water, so we'll use the snail. Medium boost, large boost, medium boost. Right, we'll go with snail power. Alright. What do I do now? Bobbing. Oh, it's a little QTE. Do I pull it in now? Is that tenched on the line? Okay. Oh, this is way better than Final Fantasy 12. Seaweed? No, I'm catching a fish. You can fuck off. I didn't put any bait on. Bro, that FF12 thing was utterly ridiculous. I think there's a video on YouTube of top 5 worst fishing minigames.
We can mount Zeppler. It's pretty shit.
I caught a snail. No, I want to catch a fish.
Clearly FF12 is the better fishing game.
I want to catch a fish. Not seaweed and not a snail. A fish sword. Are you taking the actual piss? One fish, please. I'm not after a lot. I just want a fish. Looks like a fish. Looks like a fish. It's 0.2 of a pound. It's 4 inches in length. But I call it mine. I'm not sure. Does this increase my skill in anything? Firefly bait. Oh, we're getting bait from here now. Wow, the briar gives loads of little resources. I am talking about the fish. Although I tell you, lads. Yeah, I won't tell you. It's a bit inappropriate. Forget I brought it up. It's fine. Nah, it's disgusting. It's crass. And I am not crass. No, I don't, man. It's just something that I noticed. And I didn't like it. Emma doesn't know. Emma doesn't know. Alright, I'll tell you. But it's crass, right? Just be aware of that. I've been doing some massive cardio sessions recently. And something I noticed after I'd finished, and I'm like drenched through with sweat and my legs aren't really working, is when I get in the shower, I notice a significant amount of shrinkage. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's really bad. It's really bad. Like, there must be absolutely zero blood in the universe in that area. It's like completely just like, yeah, don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. Nothing's happening at all. It's like it just went, I don't know what the fuck you just did, but I tell you what we're not doing, and it's anything with this thing. It's alright after about 15 minutes or something, but I got in the shower the other day. I did that 35k bike ride. I was exhausted afterwards. Walking home was rough as fuck. And then I got in the shower and I was like, odd. Don't like that. How long was the 35k? That was an hour. Obviously all machines are different, but it's an hour at level 8. I had a constant heart rate of between 160 to 170. It was a time. Really good though. Like I've been watching. Although I actually really don't like the show. I'll be honest, I don't like it. Maybe I can watch The Expanse while I do that. Yeah, you've seen. You know the bikes in the front right, Nikia, on that. If you go on, it's a custom setting, and it's called. Fuck. I can't remember what it's called. Something intermission. But anyway, it gives you like rolling hills for the first 20 minutes, and then it has proper interval training for another 30 minutes, and then a giant hill at the end.
I decided to just do my own. I can't have sex. Okay?
In memory of Soul One, Christina.
Yeah, that setting on like 8 to 9. Oh no, your knees feel great. Like those bikes are actually surprisingly comfortable. Although Emma doesn't like them. Maybe you need a fat ass like me.
Wisdom kept the flame of our hopes.
They're quite comfy on that seat.
May her sacrifice.
The spin classes at the gym are really good. They're just always at times I can't make them, which is a bit of a pisser. I was in the gym at 5:45 this morning, Nicky. 5:45 in the AM. Rough. Oh, yeah, I do like it. I haven't watched The Expanse. I shouldn't say I like it. I haven't watched The Expanse. But because these bike sessions are 1 hour, and you set it for the hour, I was like, oh, I could watch something on my phone. So I put some YouTube on for a bit. Read the abandoned armor scrap. I was like, I put some YouTube on, but I don't want to mess with my phone while I'm cycling. Or doing, like, the stairs or whatever. So I put, I have Apple Vision, whatever the fuck it's called. Apple TV. So I put that on, and there was no show I wanted to watch, so I started watching The Invasion. Now, 2 problems. One, the lights in the gym. Oh no! Why, Boris? No, Boris! Stop! Fuck me. Can I increase the debuff? On a successful hit, all enemies within 5 meters of you are slowed. Yes. Do that. I'm really liking Sword and Shield and Flail. This is a good combo. I like it a lot. Where was I? Yeah, so I started watching The Invasion, because it was like top recommended, blah, 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 blah. But the lights in the gym shine on my phone, so I can't really see what's going on. And I also, they play a lot of loud music in there, so I have subtitles on, so I'm kind of just reading what the hell is going on. Seems alright. One of the bummers is they have London kids in it. Alright, bruv. Yeah, we're going on a skill trip. You fucking monkey. Well, I've got to be honest. I have listened to DJ Devil Cyborg's retro playlist that he made for us, the mix that he made for us, so many times in the gym. It's so good. Yeah, like full boomer disco. Like in the gym, it's actually great. It's so fucking good. It's pumping.
Be a lesson to all who come after.
Listen to it so often. Yeah, I crack it out of the gym all the time. I'm actually like, 2 things really annoy me. One, there's an audio cutout that's at like the 15-minute mark, and I constantly check my phone every time, even though I know it exists. It just stops, and I check my headphones, and then it comes back on, and I'm like, you motherfucker. And The other thing is Ghost Town comes at the end, and I fucking love Ghost Town, and it's only on for like 20 seconds. And I'm like, you bastard, because I start like bopping away, and I'm like, yeah. Then it cuts. That's the end. The DJ's name, DJ Devil Cyborg. He made us a mix for what were we doing? Where all the DJs made us mixes. Oh wow, Classic Hardcore. Yeah. During Classic Hardcore. A lot of the FF14 DJs made us some mixes that we could listen to while we were playing. And Devil Cyborg did one that was full of like ABBA. What? It had ABBA, Toto. It had so much cool stuff in it, all mixed really nicely by a good DJ. It's fucking banging. Banging playlist.
In memory of Soul Warden Constanza Soberi.
Super Freak. Yeah, it starts with Rah Rah Rasputin. So good.
May her sacrifice.
Yeah, the playlist is on YouTube. I just cracked the YouTube video on. I've been trying to follow a lot of the wrestling podcasts recently, but I've kind of drifted away again. I was having a good time with it, but yeah, it's kind of samey again, so. There's no really juicy drama going on. I want some juicy drama. Oh, a new flail! Poggers. I mean, it's better. Yeah, one of the projects me and Chris want to do when we get back in the studio, which should hopefully be soon, is make it so Chris has in mind a ridiculously complex audio setup, but it would allow us to play our music and to have some control over the stream. Obviously, we had to stop playing those playlists because all our VOD watchers were like, everything's muted like all day, and all we can see is Boomer Disco emote spam. And you rocking out, like bobbing your head, having the best time. And all we get is a muted stream of Boomer Disco. Oh well. Unfortunate. I will take a green weapon over a white weapon any day of the week. Give me a green. There's a silent disco. Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe if you're coming to FanFest and you've been invited to the private party, maybe you'll hear some really custom mixes that have been made for us. Maybe that'll happen. And maybe, when you find out what the New Year's Eve event is, you'll have an even better time. But I can't tell you what it is, because it's not time to tell you yet. But it's got to be good. It's got to be really good. Oh, you're working New Year, Taiki? Unlucky. Unlucky. I used to work every New Year. New Year doesn't mean fuck all to me. Good excuse for a party. That's about it. Defeat Temple Guardians and enter the tomb. Yo, this flail item is fucking baller. Shield, full shield break. We should swap back to the flail for DPS. It does way more damage. Ooh, Mastery 4. What are we getting? Alright. Abilities and heavy attacks hits against targets with less than 50% health grant 5% anointed. Anointed increases the amount of health gained when healed. Haste increases movement speed. Okay. Grants cooldown reduction based on actions performed in different equip loads. Oh. So heavy gets cooldown, medium cooldown when dodging an attack. Epic Flail. Smite hits reduce its own cooldown by 5% per target hit. Oh, nice. Happy Flails. Hitting a target with a basic attack within 3 seconds of using an ability will inflict exhaust, reducing stamina regen rate by 15% for 5 seconds. Being hit or blocking a hit from a melee attack while above 90% health inflicts a stack of impairment for 6 seconds on the attacker. Dealing 10% weapon damage per... Oh, it puts a dot on them if we block. That's cool. Drag the head of the flail against the ground, causing an eruption of arcane energy in front of the player, dealing 120% weapon damage, inflicting 2 stacks of impairment. Okay, so let's do that. So we get a dot as well. Sweet. Let's try this ability. Okay. Oh, they're not all buns. Keep pressing G. F is my usual push to talk key. Yeah, I know we can do both trees. For sure. I want to specialize at the minute. I like this flail tree a lot. Seems to the cooldown on it comes back really quick as well.
I, Gilgamesh, do solemnly bow under the radiance of the sun and the luminescence of the stars.
Crafting recipe?
Gods, to serve as an Amara, the blessed inheritor of the eternal fire.
I doubt I'm going to touch crafting for a while. Ascend higher into the temple. I have been to this temple before. Survive the trial. 2 seconds left.
I vow to be both noble and true.
But I'm actually higher level here than when I got here originally. Crazy.
Against all hardships and foes, I also swear on my bonded soul to ease the world's pain and to fulfill my sworn obligations.
Weaken the remnant by destroying inert remnants near it. Oh, just punch it in the face.
I give my breath to the winds, my strength to the lands.
I think there was a full-on encounter here, but I missed it.
That it rain down into the blessed earth and the
Everybody gets heals. You just equip a life staff. Another flail!
and for all those who would follow.
Yeah! That's more like it. Oh no! I'm fine. It's all good. Oh, crawl away from me. Oh, okay. I need to bear in mind not to miss that ability. That would be grim. I'm going to fall way behind on my sword and shield, plus messing with this flail, but I actually don't mind. I should mind, otherwise I'm going to end up not being able to use it, because it's, like, capped. I think I can tank. I saw a few abilities that boost threat. Maybe that's where I go with the sword and shield setup. Is there another place to do this? Enduring a trial by combat in the ancient Soul Warden Temple. I mean, these mobs definitely work, right? Look at all the debuffs I put on these targets. That is nutty. Oh, you're using a flail too, eh? Yeah, I see it. We're flail brothers. I've never done a dungeon in this game. I'm excited for it. No idea what I'm picking up here. When we get to a storage place, I need to dump all my stuff. Only the tips of our flails will touch. Oh, perfect. I am here, buddy. We got this. A guy better not have run away. That guy totally ran away. Flail power! You got the dots on. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Stun them. Oh, I almost got them. I stunned them both. Fuck, man. That guy cost me my life. He ran away. Coward. You cannot recall a fast roll when you're dead. Man, if he would have stuck around, I pulled aggro on all those, started dropping my AoE like an absolute champion. Runs away. You turned the game music off, maybe put on some tunes. I don't think I did turn the music off, did I? No, I hear it. It's just like, yeah, it's music's on 100%. I think. Yeah, it is. That area just didn't have any music. It's just extraordinarily quiet music. Can I not fast travel somewhere a bit closer? Looks like not. Uh-oh. I don't know why. Why are you asking me why that area's got no music? Why? The hell do you want me to say? Hello to you, dude. How you doing? Split fix it. Hello. Woohoo. So, yeah, look, I'm just a beautiful butterfly in a lovely forest. I can't be expected to solve all the world's problems, okay? Are you an enemy? Yeah, you are. I must have pruned the music. The only reasonable explanation. Piss moth? I'm not even yellow anymore. I literally have no yellow on me. Look. I'm pissless. There is music. I can hear some drumming going on. A little bit of a drum loop going on. Maybe it's more ambience than anything else. You not hear that? It's just really, really quiet. Got it. Yeah, it is there. It's just very quiet. Hey, lads, how you doing? Well, after a day of getting my butthole reamed out in Terraria, apparently we've activated what is known as hard mode. I can attest to an appropriate name. For sure. It was, it was tough. It was pretty tough. The pirate thing was ridiculous, but I don't think it was as ridiculous as the fucking, that boss. Skeletron Prime. That just apparently spawns for some reason. I don't know if I did something to cause it to spawn, but having that thing just appear and then be like, and I'm just gonna kill you now. I guess for our hardcore run, real talk, our goal is to kill the wall of flesh. I think that's the goal of the hardcore run. With that kind of stuff happening when hard mode activates, I don't really know how we counter that. Like, without having to do cheesy stuff. Because I saw someone saying, oh, like, well, if that happens, you log out of the game. That doesn't sound very fun for me. It's like, oh, the Skeletron Prime's coming, we should log out. It's a pirate attack, we should log out. So I'm thinking that for our hardcore run, our goal is all the bosses before Wall of Flesh and then finish with Wall of Flesh. Yeah, you don't want it to be like PoE hardcore, right? Where if you even sense remote sense of danger, you just alt F4 the game as fast as possible. I'm looking forward to... I want to do these bosses before we start looking into stuff, but there's so many elements that I'm looking forward to finding out how they actually work. I'm pretty sure I'm doing them wrong, but... I'll figure it out. I'll get there. Well, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want the answer now, obviously. I don't know if there are bosses we missed before we did Wall of Flesh. Because we did Eye of Cthulhu. We did the Destroyer of Eater of Worlds. We did Skeletron. We did King Slime. We did the Queen Bee. So I don't know if there are any more bosses that are like pre-hard mode. That I need to find at some point. And I'm glad I've kept all my gear because we can do like an old set of gear to see how it should be done properly, I guess.
Thought I heard scuffling. Now that you mention it, there was an old codger a few paces.
Upgrades!
They've got a proper city that direction. I'll be going back soon enough. But if you want to go after this,
we are carrying too much stuff.
And just ask around town.
Oh, you're trolling me. These boots are just... I don't know once, but 20 less armor, 20 less fizz. And no stats on them. So those are objectively worse. What's our inventory now? 212? Alright, is this a town? Oxborough Hamlet. Yeah, there's a town here. Alright, can we store all our stuff? That would be sweet. If I'm supposed to tank, I should potentially put points into HP. Or maybe I just get a heal. Yeah, you've got mounts. No one fucking cares. Get out of the way.
Something. Welcome to Everfall.
Welcome to Everfall. It is Evan. Oh, isn't this the town we started at originally? I want the storehouse. Storage shed. Is this not the original starting city? Am I crazy? All right, let's. Is there a move all reagents button? Okay. Is it shift to move all? Arcana. Tier 2 offensive reagents. Source the briar plants. Don't know what we do with these yet.
Kijk eens te verder tot aan.
Did you kill it? Did you kill it? Here.
What the fuck was that? We got open comms on? Okay, yeah, I'm not risking my career over somebody deciding to tell a really funny story. That they... This item has depreciated, deprecated, and can be salvaged into mods. Used in crafting to apply a bonus of dexterity. Ranger suffix. Used in crafting. Okay, so that's for crafting stuff, right? Move that over. Cooking is taking up an absolute horrendous amount of weight. Does this move all? Oh, perfect. And mostly it's weapons. Oh, I like how this is organized. Wait, this is a new starting city. Does that mean it's the birthplace of the crawlers? I think so. Yeah, I think it was... I think there's like a downhill area where we all crawled out. Yeah, it was here. It was this, actually. It was the uphill area. We crawled up here in a big, long line. There was a giant line of us that crawled up here to PvP. This is absolutely the starting city we were in. Yeah, it totally is. Okay, our inventory is clean again. Let's talk to Syra. A lot of players here. This is the quiet server as well, right? In town. Our town is to the south in Windswood. Oh, okay. I mean, it looks similar.
I'll have to give him a talking to. Gossip is more valuable than...
I wonder if this is going to ask me to choose a covenant. This is the this is the quiet server, the only one without queues. You got to sit in a 2-hour queue every day. Oof. Can't use the free transfer temporarily. It's like a 24-hour cooldown, right? Oh, you're playing with a guild and whatnot.
If you're looking, can't say that name sparks any torches. Perhaps he was just asking.
Oh, Gimpy swapped over yesterday. Open mics can be funny. I remember when we activated them in Warcraft. You know where it did work? Star Trek VR. Do you remember we played that and we ended up with that? Is he from Serbia? It was like a Serbian pilot or something who ended up leading us. We made him captain. I think he was a pilot. He was in the military anyway. He was like a Serbian commander. So far for solo, it's pretty good. Alright, we got a fast travel point there. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to get a drink. I need some caffeine because we're going to be seeing Zeppler soon. Let's get some caffeine going. Ba-dum. Wah! Got it. Oh, Daystone, a massive overhaul. I've been playing for about 3 or 4 hours total, and I've already out-leveled my first character, which I played for a couple of days. I guess this is where we'll choose Covenants. There's a lot more Covenant people here now. I've got to be honest, I haven't been paying attention to the story. Not really like me, but I wanted to see more of the game, so I've kind of skimmed through it. Oh, sweet dark mistress, you taste good. Oh. Mm. It was worth getting into without even trying it before. It's very polished now. Very, very polished. Yeah, if you're looking for a nice MMO experience with a very busy server, expansion launch is always a great time to jump in. Great, great time. As you can see, we're on the only server at the moment that doesn't have queues on it, and it's packed. It's absolutely packed with people doing stuff. I haven't reached the end game yet, so I can't comment on that, but the leveling experience is really quite nice. And I'm getting a mount really soon. Hopefully before the podcast tonight. Does it have a future? Don't know yet. I can't see that yet until I get there. I want to try out a dungeon. What I'd like to do is get to a dungeon today. I think Nupps said the first one's 25. Zeppler, our wonderful lady Zeppler, is starting her own podcast, and I shall be the first guest. So we're going to make it exceptionally hard on her. We're going to give 2-word answers. We're going to look disinterested. We're going to do all those things. We got to test her as a host. Hosting a podcast is... I mean, I've done several... I mean, you've seen on YouTube. I've done several interviews with prominent people in the community, and sometimes it's really hard. The hardest one I ever did was the method... I had to do it for Red Bull. Red Bull asked me to interview the method players after they got the Race to World First for 6 hours. It was a 6-hour show. Right? And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, so it's 6 hours. I had, like, to be fair to Red Bull, they were really excited for it. And it was kind of, it was their piece of the pie for content, right? Because all the content goes out on, like, the Method channel or whatever. And they wanted content that would go on the Red Bull channel. So the plan was the day after the Race to World First, and I got told this at home because I left the race. It was my first... for context, it was the first time I had ever casted. And I got back... I left before they killed the last boss because I was booked to leave. So I was at home. I had literally got on a train from London, walked into my house, put my suitcase down, and then my phone rang, and it was one of the chief dudes at Red Bull in Sweden. And he was... there's a side quest here. It might be for inside here. It was one of the chief dudes at Red Bull in Sweden saying, the team from London has asked me to ask you, will you come back to London to host the post show?
I've gone and my family cannot
Now,
tolerate...
I'm not going to say no, obviously. But at the same time, there were a bunch of casters at the event still. Because I was brought in as a favor by Hotted, who was a big content creator in World of Warcraft in the past. And he was part of the organization team. And he'd invited me as a favor because he knew me. I wasn't supposed to be there. Because nobody thought I'd be any good at casting. Which is rude. But sure. I'd like the chance to try. I didn't know if I'd be any good either, but like, you know, gotta try somewhere. So I went down for 2 days. I was there. I was booked for 2 days. 2 days of... Oh, was it 3? 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days of 5-hour shifts because we had 5-hour shifts. So I had 3. I was doing 15 hours of casting. So it started on a bad note, right? It started on a bad note. So I'm super excited, but also incredibly nervous. I studied my favorite commentator of all time, which is JR Jim Ross from professional wrestling. So all the way there, I was watching his best work for tips, and then watching not just like the highlights, but like the whole matches of how you build up to finales and things like that. So I was doing all this research. And I only had 1 day to prepare, because I got the call from Hotted, and he was like, can you be here tomorrow? We would like to try you out casting. I was like, okay, sure. So I was doing all my homework.
We no longer have means of
They booked
escape,
me a train.
but we were able to seal the upper
So
floor
they had
somehow.
my time of arrival.
Even now, I can hear them battering against
Right?
our barrier. We have rationed
Speak
our
the spirits
food
of
and
fallen soul
supplies.
warders. Just
Our
these
weapons.
guys? No.
They
So I arrive in London, and... No, I didn't arrive in London. I was on the train, and I had maybe 40 minutes left before my train arrived, and I got a phone call from Red Bull, because they were running the event. Where are you? You're supposed to be on stage. And I'm like, what? And they're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm on the fucking train. They're like, well, you're supposed to be replacing somebody on cast now. Oh, I'm gonna die. And I'm like, what? I'm not in London. And they're like, well, how far away are you? It's like, you guys booked my train. You know when I'm going to be here. It's like, well, we had nothing to do with that. And we've got you scheduled to be on the cast right now. I'm like, well, I'm not there for another half an hour. And then I've got to get to wherever you guys are. And I don't know where you are. I know you're not near the train station. But, so, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm sat on a fucking train. 5 meters away. Beat the spirits. So it's a portal in the middle. Oh, is this a door? So anyway, I got off the train. They said I was going to walk, because I like walking. But then they were like, no, get off the train, get an Uber, get here immediately. Okay. So I got there. As they killed the... It was the Jaina raid, so they killed the 8th boss of 9. As I walked in the room. Which is really shit. Because that means I was literally casting... Stonewall Blockade, yeah. As I arrived, they were killing Stonewall Blockade. Like, as I walked in the room, they were doing the pull where they killed it. And Tettles was there. And I'd never met Tettles before, but I walk over to the caster area, which was right next to the actual casting area. Where the casters were. And... he says, hey, hi. Like, Tettles was awesome. Tettles immediately came over to me and was like, yo, dude, I can't believe you're here, blah, blah, blah. Like, we were saying you should be here, right? Because we've flown from, like, America to be here, and Mike's not here. It makes no sense. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then he, okay, this is the boss. Tettles comes over and he says, so I go, update me, where are we? Because I need to jump on the cast immediately after this pull, right? That's what I've been told. I was like, update me, what's going on? Like, I haven't been able to watch any of the race or anything. And then he goes, oh, they've been wiping on this boss all day. Honestly, they've been trolling a little bit. They should kill it. And I was looking at it. I was like, oh, they're going to kill it now. And they went, no, they always get to here and they're going to die. But they were in great shape. I was like, no, they're going to kill it right now. And they did. I was like, oh, cool. So you get to cast Jaina. I was like, okay. So my first casting session is going to be literally the last boss. Fair enough. In the back of my mind, Alex is also... I'm hearing the voice of Alex say, you're a piece of shit for leaving progress to go to this race fuck you.
will not be lost, Soul Warden.
Alex wasn't like that, but
I will
in my
not
brain, that's the voice I could hear
abandon
of
my
Alex. 'Cause I was trying to get Alex to go as well. I was like, because they were asking, is there any more casters? It's like, well, Fat Boss is like literally 10 minutes away from where you're doing this thing, and they still couldn't be asked going. I think Loz, I'd have to check with Alex if he remembers, but I think they did reach out to Alex and Loz to come and do some casting. And I think Loz asked for £5,000 an hour for the boys to come and cast, because he flat out could not be asked to do it. Like, that's what Loz does when he absolutely cannot be asked to do something. He'll just name a ludicrous price to do it, and I can tell you it has worked at least twice. And I'll tell you this. When Discord was starting, when Discord was trying to get its name out there and get people to use Discord, they obviously reached out to all the MMO dudes, because of course Discord would be great for that, and it's a lot of users, right? If you can move the whole guild to if you can move the whole guild over to Discord from TeamSpeak or whatever you're using. We were talking to them, and as we were negotiating the price, they said, I'm sorry, we can't do a deal anymore. And I went, what? And they went, we've used all the marketing budget. The Fat Boss guys have claimed like 12 or 13,000 pounds or something, which was like most of the marketing budget for Discord. Loz threw some ridiculous price at them because Loz did all the negotiating for Fat Boss, and they fucking said yes. And he was like, no way. And all they had to do was, I think they sold it. I think they, fair play to Loz, I think they sold that deal on that the new raid was out for World of Warcraft, and they could put a Discord ad in every one of their videos, and those videos always did like hundreds of thousands of views because it was like the standard guides everyone went to for World of Warcraft. So he was like, oh yeah, we're going to make like 18 guides, because it's going to be normal and heroic, and then the mythic guides, which nobody ever watched, but they did them anyway. And we'll put Discord in every single one of them, and they paid them a fortune for it, and he was just like, idiots. Fucking idiots. So I called Loz. I was like, do you know we lost the Discord deal because they've spent all the money on you? And he went, probably. I don't know. I can't believe they fucking said yeah. Absolute legend. Absolute fucking legend. And another time, when they were thinking of stopping YouTube, I might get the details slightly wrong here, but it's something like this. And I'll ask Alex about it next time I see him. But your hero, Nupss, this is even better. They were thinking of stopping making YouTube videos, right? So they've been on the fence for a while about doing the guides. They were super tired of it. They just wanted to play the game. They'd done these guides for raid bosses for years at that point. They were just burnt out on doing it. Oh, we need to get the fast travel point. So they were thinking of stopping. So, given that they were currently very popular, Loz sends an email to Ubisoft saying they will exclusively cover Ubisoft games of any description for £55,000 a year. It was something like that. It's like, if you pay us 55 grand a year, we will exclusively... And Ubisoft were like, who the fuck are you? They had no contact with Ubisoft or anything. But it was like, it's not a fucking chance it, right? I'll just throw it out there. Like, you gotta give me 55 grand, I'll do it. Yeah, no worries. I just completely sent this random email to Ubisoft, and they replied, and they were like, what are you offering us here? Like, trying to understand where this fucking email had come from. Who the fuck these people were. Why they were just asking for 55 grand. It was genius. I might try. It didn't work. I can tell you that. It didn't work. Ubisoft were like, no. And then Loz goes, alright, thanks for asking. Fucking ballsy. Ballsy as fuck. But anyway, yeah, coming back to this thing then. So, oh, is that a Nupss that I see on a mount? Fuck off, Nupss. Yeah, so the race tour first. So I did the, I don't know if Skull remembers this. Maybe Tettles does. I'll ask Tettles about this. But they put us in a hotel that was absolutely for prostitutes. And I can't remember the name of it, otherwise I'd Google it now. But, so I got, I'd got off the train. I still had my suitcase and whatever. But I didn't have time to have a shower, which is obviously something I'd like to do before I sit and cast in a chair under hot lights for the next 5 hours. But by the by, it wasn't happening. Get on cast, go and sit there and cast Jaina. So it was cool. I had the best time ever. I think I casted with JB. I think my first ever time casting was with JB. And I'd never met JB. I was aware of... All I knew about JB at the time was he was that streamer who always had his chest out. That's all I knew. And I think the first words I said to him after meeting was like, are you going to have your chest out on stream? And he went, of course. Now, this is before we were friends, and I love JB now. Every time I see JB, it's like the biggest smiles in the world, and always cracking a beer open with him. But we'd never met before, and it was the first thing I said. It's like, is my first ever cast going to be sat with you with your chest hair out? And he went, of course it is. Anyway, he proceeded to have the best cast. Like, JB was not only insanely easy to work with, but within 2 minutes, I was so comfortable because he knew his shit, and throwing backwards and forwards with him was so free. Like, absolutely so free. And I loved it. I loved it so much. In fact, it went so well that they split us up. Because the plan was that it was better to, in Red Bull's opinion, it was better to have a really good caster with a really weak caster to balance things out. Now, I massively disagree with that sentiment, but after me and JB casted, they were pretty much like, that was awesome. That was possibly the best cast we've had so far of the race. We're never pairing you two up again. I was like, okay. Kind of mixed feedback, I suppose. It's kind of mixed feedback. We're going to pair you up with different people to see who works well. So I just want to be clear. It's not that the other people I worked with were bad casters at that event, but they were like trying to find good pairings, and I had 3 days. So I ended up working with Bay at the time, and someone called Sowers, who left casting almost immediately after. Like, I think he wanted to cast the MDI, and Blizzard rejected him, I think, and he like shut down the whole thing. I haven't heard his name mentioned since, but he was there. Obviously, Tettles went on to be a great caster and official MDI caster and stuff like that. And JB stopped casting, I think. I just don't think he does it anymore. Either way, so most of you know this story, but just for the recap for those who don't know, is on the night I was casting a night shift, and I'd gone back to after my first cast. I walked off, and I didn't get to talk to any of the players, which really pissed me off because Deep Shades, aka Fabo, kept giving me the cheekiest look in the world. The rest of the players didn't, because they were all like seriously focused on doing the last boss. But the only person who kept popping his head up from the PC and grinning at me like, I can't wait to talk to you, was Fabo. And I miss him dearly because he's casting now, but he's casting for Method. He doesn't game anymore. But it was really kind of cool. And a little bit of a nerd out for me. I was a little starstruck when I walked into that room, if I'm being honest with you, because Sko I'd met many times. But Gingy was there. I'd never met Gingy. Knew of him, obviously. Gingy, Fabo. Perfecto was there, who I'd played with when I was in Method. In Mop, I'd played with Perfecto, but never spoke, because Perfecto was pretty quiet at the time. Who else was there? Narcles was there. I'm forgetting someone. It's come across as rude, but I can't remember. And somebody else was there. They had about 9... Oh, Kana was there, because I had a good time with Kana. And Potter, which many of you probably don't know anymore, but he used to be the healing team leader. Potter was there, because he lives in London. Anyway, so after my first cast, which ended at about 11 p.m., I think, I ended up casting for like 6.5 hours the first day, I think me and JB, because somebody... one Rich Campbell hadn't showed up. That's what it was. A certain Mr. Rich Campbell hadn't showed up, and so we got a message through the earphones. Is like, can you guys cast a bit longer? Classic, indeed. Can you guys cast a bit longer because Rich isn't here and we're not sure where he is. So whatever. And it turned out that him and somebody from Red Bull had gone to watch the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl was happening or something similar in some American bar in London, and it got hammered and were really drunk or something like that. And but because he was with somebody from Red Bull, like nobody said a word about it. So about 11:30 I finished, and I had to go back to the hotel. And I was like, I don't even know where the hotel is. Where is the hotel? And then they told me they don't know because all the players had got an Airbnb and there was no one knew. And I'd been put in a different hotel with somebody else because I was a last minute addition and was not under the group deal they'd got for the hotels for everybody. So I was like, whatever, I've got Google Maps. It's no problem. It was about 10 minutes away. So I was like, it's fine. I'll go and find it. S-Fan showed up. And someone tried to attack him that night. I think he either punched him or tried to punch him because he was wearing a bright red Make Azeroth Great Again hat. And some Londoner had obviously not read the ironic twist from Make America Great Again to Make Azeroth Great Again. And this was the height of, like, the Trump and MAGA thing kicking off in a big way and had actually gone to attack S-Fan for wearing that. Because I had to announce that S-Fan was coming under the Method umbrella. Level 20. Yay. I want to get the fast travel point. In fact, I tried to get you to that event, Nobble, I think. I think I remember calling you to see if I could try and get you in on it. So I got back to this hotel, and my room was larger than the one Nupps booked for us in London, because Nupps is a cheapskate and gets us fucking shoeboxes to sleep in. But it was RGB. It was an RGB bedroom that was not only tiny, but the main feature of the room is that you could make all the lights any color you wanted, and it made the room glow like Annie Fuchsia's stream room. It was weird. And then I saw at the front desk when I was checking, this is before I went in, I checked in, it's like they sold rooms by the hour. This is just a place to fuck. That's all it's for. It is clearly just a place to fuck.
Get it flowing again, and I will at least listen to what you have to say.
Because that's what it's for. It was for prostitutes and people who have hired prostitutes to go and fuck for an hour and then go back to work. That's what it was. On their lunch break or after work or in the morning or whatever. That's exactly what it was. Either way, I was still... I will say this. At the time, I was giga excited. This is the first time I'd been to, like, an event where people were paying for my transport. I was getting hotels. Like, I was giddy. I could laugh at it now, but at the time, I was giddy. It was so cool. I was like, I'm traveling for work again. And I'm now not traveling to talk about cars like in my old job. I'm now going around to talk about video games. This is sick. But the next day was fine. Did my cast. All good. They were struggling on Jaina. But the interesting thing that happened is after I finished my cast... Again, I was only there for 3 days. So day 1 was with JB. I think day 2 was with Sowers. When it finished, a wonderful lady who was running production called Mariella, who I really like a lot. I respect her. She hustles like nobody's business. But she's very intense, and a lot of people don't like how intense she is. She's giga intense. Apparently, as a side story to this lady, Mariella, she's about 5'1", a full head of steam, and she, I believe, organized one of Peace's events. They asked me who I'd recommend to help them run a production. It was either Peace's or Echo. Might have been Echo. I think it was me and Roger that were talking. Destroy the clotting carapace. We might didn't do. She took it so seriously. I was talking to her on Discord before she did it. That she didn't sleep for 5 days and had to be... An intervention had to take place. of some description, because she got so enraptured in her work that she became sort of manic. Or something like that, I heard. It got a little... Oh, yeah, it was... But I know she did... When she did sleep, she was just sleeping in the office. But at the same time, she hadn't managed an event for World of Warcraft, which is her favorite video game. She's a production person anyway. She does a lot of stuff with DreamHack. She hadn't done anything with World of Warcraft since the Method stuff, and she loved it. And she had so many ideas that she went all out. Like when like she did things that we were really jealous of. She like I think China took a world first in one of the bosses, so she managed to get in contact with them and sort a translator out to do live interviews on their production with the Chinese guilds. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So they could do stuff like that. So she organized that in the last in like a few hours to make that happen. It was really cool, the stuff she was doing. Well, a little intense. But anyway, this is the first time I'm meeting her, obviously. And I respect her so much because she was the only one who lambasted me for my failures. Everybody else was telling me that was a great cast. That was awesome. You did super good. The audience loved it, blah, 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 blah. They keep asking me to come back on. She was the only one who pulled me aside and went, yo, you ain't good enough. And I went, what's the problem? Like, everybody's telling me everything was good. She went, no. When I spoke to you in that headset multiple times, you paused your speech. That can never happen. And I never want to see that again. I was like, oh, okay. Because, like, when I'm talking to you, you need to have the ability to continue talking about what you're talking about and not look like you're paying attention to something else. This is not the shorts. That was a different cast. That was the first thing she said to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, let's practice. And she took me into a different room, and she's like, talk. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, talk. About what? She's like, anything. This is your job. Talk. Go. Talk. So I started casting an imaginary raid boss. And she's like, okay, now I want you to turn your head to the right. You stopped talking. Talk. Keep going. Stop listening to me. Now listen to me, but don't acknowledge you're listening to me. And we did this for about an hour, and it was late. It was really late. But it helped out. I could do it, like, no problem now, but, okay, can I kill these? Are you gonna help, Watson? No, dude, don't run away! What the fuck, bro? Jesus. That guy came up to maybe help me and then just left. Okay. How quickly did you know Rich was fucked? Did you know live? No. Annoyingly, I am in the clip of when Rich found out that he'd been outed. But I actually didn't find out until about 4 hours later. It was a weird thing, that one. It was really weird. Because I was annoyed with him. Because up until that point, I will happily say, because it's the truth, I was pretty good friends with Rich Campbell. Like, because obviously Rich never acted that way around me. And always been super bang on with me. And I've met him many, many times. You know, like, I've been on Allcraft many, many times. Zach was in the same boat. You just don't... I said this because obviously my career has been relatively long in this industry, and there's been a few people I've dealt with who have subsequently been cancelled and found out to be doing terrible things. And I said this at the time, and I said this a lot actually to the team in Switzerland when it happened with Rich, is don't... One thing you can't do is look back and be like, should I have known? Was there some sign I missed? You know, something like that. And the answer is no. Because those people do not behave that way around you ever. Because they won't. They would be crazy to do that. So they don't... Fuck, man. There must be more of these spawning somewhere. But what happened in Switzerland is that happened. while I was casting with him, as people know. Like, but I was about to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he kept checking his goddamn phone while we were working. I'm not a douchebag, but like, I do expect I do expect that if we're doing a job and being paid for it, and it's to cast and present to an audience, you fucking do that while you're on shift. Like, put your phone away. Check it on breaks, sure, do whatever, but checking your phone while we're working, while we're on cast and I'm talking, and I ended up, as it was happening and he kept checking his phone, I ended up referring to Jeeth a lot. Because we had Jeeth on the analysis desk, and Rich clearly wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And he'd only just arrived. I want to be clear on this. Rich arrived an hour before he left. Literally, I was waiting to go on cast with him as he walked into the studio. Because his passport had been cancelled, or he'd run out, or expired, or whatever. So he'd missed 3 days that he was supposed to be there. Arrived in Switzerland. Came to the studio just as we were about to go casting, and then said, I need to go and have a shower before I cast. Walked out the studio, went and had a shower. Joined us like half an hour or 40 minutes into the cast, because he went back to the hotel and had a shower. Stayed on cast for 20 minutes, and then left. I got back on a plane and went back to America. That's how much I saw of Rich during that whole period of time. And the thing before that is we planned to have like Santa suits. We'd actually... I think this is correct. I don't know if Chris is still here, but we had made gifts for each other. I said we were friends. He had made me some sort of Christmas jumper, and we had made him a pillowcase, like a silly Rich Campbell pillowcase with like a Luigi face on it and stuff like that, like an anime body pillow thing. We'd had that made. Either way, going back to the London one. So yeah, that was pretty shit. I should explain it. So, yeah, he kept checking his phone, and when we were going to the next break, I was about to say to him, like, dude, stop checking your fucking phone. What's going on with you? Because I'd worked with Rich many, many times, and always had a wonderful cast with him, because he's very, very good at his job. So I was really surprised he was, like, acting this way. Like, it was out of the ordinary. It was out of character. I didn't know. In my brain, I was thinking, like, has the OTK thing got to him? Is he, like, is he trying to big-time us or something like that? And not taking this seriously? Is this just like, is he only here because we're sponsored by Starforge or whatever? I was like, is he big timing us? Like, he's just not interested? He's like, he's here, but like, it's whatever. I couldn't grasp what was going on compared to the other times I'd worked with him. And then obviously I found out that he was being told that that girl had put all that stuff out. But yeah, I left. How did it go down? I'm probably not really clear on this, because at the time, I want to be clear, just to be clear on this, at the time, I didn't know anything was going on, and I didn't think much of it, because I carried on doing my job. But I know I think he said to me, I think this might be on the Twitch clip, I'll be right back. And he just got up and he left. So I thought he was going to the toilet or something. Like, that happens on occasion. It's like, usually if you're more professional, you hold down the button, you say, yo, production, I really need to piss. Because we are doing like 5 to 6 hour shifts. It happens. And they say, cool, we'll go to a break in a minute. Or we'll go to a pull. So the guys can watch a pull while you guys go and have a piss or whatever. But that didn't happen. But again, at the time, he was being unprofessional. Because he kept checking his phone. In my eyes, right? From my perspective, this wasn't the Rich Campbell I'd worked with in the past. And so him just being like, yo, I'll be right back, and just getting up and walking off wasn't that out of the ordinary at the time. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with you. And I was just talking to Jeeth anyway, and Jeeth's a great caster, so it wasn't like it was a problem. And I made a joke, which then went viral. Because I was like, I said something like, my kids turned up at the same time. Yeah, my kids were there. So I brought James on the cast because Rich had disappeared somewhere. I didn't know where. I was, like, had to go back on the cast. So I brought James on with me. And I said something like, this is my 7-year-old son or whatever, paying more attention than Rich Campbell. Casting World of Warcraft better than Rich Campbell. Because I was teasing him. Like, I wasn't trying to be mean to Rich. I was teasing him as I would tease anybody who I considered my friend. So I was teasing him about, like, just clearly not paying attention and being a bit aloof.
Well,
But then I was like, the cast was starting again, like proper.
You have done your
So I got James went back with Emma, and
feeds the ego. Your times
I just I was like to Sam production. I was like, "Where's Rich? Like I'm casting starting again." And I don't think production knew what the fuck was going on either. But it's like he's just told us he's had an emergency and he's had to go. So that's the message I had. He's like, all right, no problem. Jeeth was there, so I think Jeeth jumped on the couch or something like that, and me and Jesse had a great cast or whatever. But then I finished my shift, and I went back to the hotel, and it was late, so Emma was there. So me and Emma were in bed. The kids were asleep, and I was watching YouTube. I think I was watching Zayu or Peekaboo at the time, because I was catching up on the state of the arena. Because we had some arena players coming in. So I was catching up on the state of arena. And then I checked Twitter before I was about to go to sleep. And you can imagine what my Twitter looked like. And I was like, what the fuck? So I then messaged the Echo team. And they were like, yeah, we've just found out as well. Obviously, he's not coming back. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even think he's in the country anymore. He's gone. And I was like, what the fuck, man? It's happened again. But I'll be honest. Unlike when it happened with Josh and Bay, I was not kicking myself over this one. I was like, motherfucker. Again, that's all I thought is like, it's happened again. But I'm not going to spiral like I kind of did with the other guys. Where I was like, I'm not working. Like, it took me about 6 or 7 months to work with anybody again after those. Because I was like, I'm not letting anybody in. Close the walls. Like, I'm not letting anyone in. It's not happening. But then I kind of resolved it with myself. It's like, there's nothing I could have done, and I didn't know about it. And so it was... and I was trying to tell the team that at the Echo production team. Like, if anybody was, like, thinking that, I was like, you don't know. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's not your fault. You know, it's not your fault. It needs to be dealt with. But it's tough to go through that, because, you know... Bay, for instance, had been in my home. He had played with my kids. I'd met him in Florida because he took me out to medieval times. I'd seen him many, many times. He got me my interview with Ian when Ian refused to speak to me at BlizzCon, along with Josh, along with Devilo. You know, they did some instrumental things. So yeah, it sucks. It's really sad and miserable. He was at my second wedding. I was there for that too. You know, all these things. So you...
There now. That will afford you
what can
some
you do?
protection, whether or not you're
But you can't close the doors. There are people out there who do those things, but unless you see something, say something, obviously. But obviously, I never did. Never did. Yeah, I mean, we never got divorced. We had a blessing or whatever it's called. We wanted to get married in Vegas because we were in Las Vegas. How often do you get to go to Las Vegas? So while we were in Las Vegas, we booked a wedding at the same place Shaq got married. It was I wanted one of them Elvis weddings just for fun. Like, we were obviously already married, but they didn't give a fuck. Like, you're still paying for it. I think it was like $40 for the wedding and an extra $20 if you wanted mugs with your pictures on them. They would make cups with your pictures on to go with it. But what they did do is they threw in a limo. So it was me. Who was in the limo? It was me, Deep Shades, Emma, my kids, Martin Creek, who works at Ubisoft now. Oh, I can't remember his name, and he was super nice. One of the top World of Warcraft Classic players who was at the event. Narcles, I think, was in the limo with us. So we all took a limo to get to the wedding. It was sick. Yeah, it was like New Marriage Plus. Yeah, it was really funny. We had a great time. And then we went for our awesome wedding dinner at Americans, I need your help. It's the Italian chain restaurant, the pasta place. And it was awful. I can't remember the name of it now. Olive Garden. That's the one. Yeah, we went to Olive Garden for our post-wedding dinner. Why? We were both craving Italian food. Because me and Emma both love Italian food. And my kids love Italian food. And all they'd seen in Las Vegas was fucking burgers and shit. So I was like, we really want some Italian food. And they were like, oh, well, Olive Garden's the place to go. Yikes. Absolute turbo yikes. Where do I keep utilities? Yo, what the calm down, bro. Big oof. Yeah, it was not nice. It was, yeah, it wasn't good. But regardless of that, yeah, back to London then. So day 2, Mariella, again, love her to death. Would happily work with her again any day of the week. I know a lot of people can't, but I would happily do that. Mariella pulled me to the side. And she said, I need you to cast longer. I was like, okay, why? What's up? I think one of the casters wasn't feeling well. And plus she said the lads are... So only World of Warcraft fans of Race to World First will get what was happening here. But what she said... Oh, we got a boss.
Join us or be drained of life.
Hold on. I don't know how hard this is. Not very, it doesn't look.
Your resistance is amusing.
Put the dot up. Oh, I should stick with the flail, it does more damage. Oh, he's fine.
Cannot defeat your soul.
She took me to the side and said, the lads aren't going to play for much longer. They're going to play for another hour, but the raid, what we're going to broadcast is not what the real raiders are doing. Or that most of the raiders are doing. I was like, what do you mean? So, they figured something out that's going to let them kill the boss really quickly and claim the Race to World First, but they need to double check it and they need to do some preparation. So they're going to do a fake raid for the stream. And we need you to cast it like nothing strange is going on. To not give away that they've discovered something to the competition, because Liquid would, or Limit as they were then, would probably right up their ass. I can't remember who was in the number 2 position. But they need to do some testing on it to make sure it works. And then they're going to come back tomorrow and get the kill, but they're pretty sure this is going to be the kill. So what I need from you is this. I need you to cast for another hour and a half or so and make like nothing's wrong. And then I need to change your shift tomorrow. I need you to be here at 8 a.m. And my shift wasn't scheduled to start until 2. I need to move your shift to the morning because I want you to cast the kill. Me and Bay were supposed to do it. And so I was like, oh, right. Awesome. Thank you. That's really cool. So be here. Try and be here for about 7:30 a.m. We're going to go live at 8 a.m. and they're going to kill the boss. They're going to claim world first and everything's going to be hunky-dory because we know you're going home tomorrow anyway. I was like, okay. Sounds good. It was the troll racial. Yeah, the troll racial. For those of you who know about this, it turned out one of the races you could be in the game had a racial ability that is never looked at by any player because it's meaningless, but it just so happened that in this one encounter, it naturally caused a very dangerous debuff that kills the whole raid to fall off. Hey, boss. No. Never. I... 1 second. Hopefully I don't die here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Let's sort something out forever. Yeah, podcast is under an hour. Where am I going? This way. I forget where I was now. Emma distracted me. Let's do dungeon. I can't, right? Got to be level 25 or what? Can you say level 25, Nupps? Oh, the Voodoo Shuffle. Yeah, but am I under leveled though, Mike? Do you do the OSQ and ask you to do it? Yeah, we could probably do it tomorrow, Mike. I can answer, but I don't worry. We'll get there. I want to keep playing. I'm having fun with this game. Yeah, the flail's fantastic. I want to get the mountain stuff. I want to try mounts. We're probably not going to get there in the next hour because I can't figure out how to get in here. But yeah, so going back to our little tale. Oh, 3 meters just horizontally, not vertically. Oh, did I not loot the chest? I'm a moron. Run away! Yeah, so that was the message I got. So I got back to bed about 12:30 into the next day. Which was fine. And then I had to be back in 5.5, in like 6.5 hours. I had to be back in the studio at 6.5 hours. But I was so excited I couldn't sleep. I really couldn't sleep. I was like, one, not told what they'd figured out. But also, I was going to cast like the world first kill. Like, I was giddy. I was so giddy about the whole thing. I was buzzing with adrenaline that, like, in just a few hours, I'm going to be casting the actual word first kill. So I started watching more Jim Ross stuff. Like, how do I handle this? Like, I felt a ton of pressure. I was like, oh my god, it needs to be, like, perfect. It needs to be excellent. Like, at which point shall I get excited? Like, 10% or 11%? I don't know. So I was thinking about all these things, about what to do. Anyway, I got there. Most of you know this by now, but they spent the next 5 hours, which was the entirety of my shift, not only not even pulling the boss, but doing split runs to get more gear so they could guarantee the kill, but also not showing us any of the gameplay. I casted for 5 hours, and never in that cast did we show any of the players' screens. Because they had all race chained to a troll. And they didn't want to reveal on stream that that's what they had done, so that nobody else could do the same thing. Even though what we had is members of Blood Legion, and I think Limit, and the other top guilds had armoried everybody, because you could do that, and had discovered what they'd done. And were then broadcasting it in the Twitch chat. They were like, why are you hiding that they've all changed to troll? Like, they've clearly all... we can see on the armory that every single one of the players has changed to troll. Like, they were broadcasting it in the chat. And then I got the most annoying message, which I fought against after the fact, but I was a newbie at the time, and I didn't really have the experience or the presence to, like, argue against it at the time, even though my gut was telling me this is really fucking stupid. To pretend we couldn't see the chat, because in that race we did have the chat. They put the Twitch chat on a screen for us, and to act dumb, which is something I would not do anymore. What did we show? First of all, we thought we had the idea to talk about lifesteal. Yes. We had the idea to go through the gear levels, but the armory showed that they were trolls, so we got told not to do that. So what we ended up doing was replaying boss kills. So we went like, so I'd be like, so as we're preparing to get back into Jaina, let's take a look at the road that got us here. Let's go through all the boss kills that have led us here to the final boss. But obviously that only lasts like half an hour at best, even stretching out talking about each of the bosses. Like the first 6 died in one pull or some shit. So we did that. That killed like half an hour. Then we talked about the preparation of the guild. We talked about absolutely nothing for like 5 hours. All the time, I'm being told in my ear, which kind of kept me going through the whole thing, that they're going to be ready in the next 20 minutes. They're going to be ready in the next 20 minutes. And then half an hour would pass, and it'd be like, okay, I've just spoke to Sko. They're going to be going in 20 minutes. Then another half hour would pass. Okay, they're just going to get a couple more items. They're browsing the auction house on different realms right now to get some more BOEs or some shit. So it'll be about another 20 minutes. And it kept going at that until my shift ended. And if that cast still exists somewhere in VOD form, I don't think I've ever looked as disappointed in my entire life. Because I'd been awake all night, fueled by adrenaline for this moment, so excited for it. And then at the end of the cast, I go, well, that's it. Sorry to say, guys, I will not be getting, me and Bay will not be getting to see Jaina today. We're pretty sure the world first is going to happen today. So, good luck. And then we swapped it over to whoever casted the kill, which I can't remember who it was. But also, they had rebooked my train, so I was leaving 30 minutes after my shift ended. So I literally never said goodbye to the players. I said goodbye to the casters that were there, and to the Red Bull team, who were awesome. And they asked me if I would consider casting Counter-Strike at DreamHack. And I was like, probably not. I don't know. I can't do what I did here for Counter-Strike. And they were like, you're pretty sure you can. But I was like, we'll call you and we'll let you know. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm certainly up to the conversation, but like, I don't think I can do this for Counter-Strike. And I got in an Uber outside and got on a train and went home, and they killed the boss before I got into my house. They killed it within the next, it's a 2-hour train ride. So they killed the boss within 2 hours of me walking out of the door. Because they completely overpowered it. And you can imagine how I felt at that point, not to be like a selfish prick, but I had all this really positive feedback. Everything was awesome. I'd been asked to do this special thing, and, you know, like, we want you to cast a kill. I'd only been there a couple of days, and I'd left. It felt shit. It felt really shit. So I sat in my living room. I remember seeing on my phone that they killed it. I didn't watch the kill. I was, like, salty as a motherfucker. I was going to watch it at home, but, like, I didn't watch it there then. I was like, motherfucker, on the train. I was just listening to music or something. Got in a taxi at the train station. Called Emma. She was at the farm. And was like, yo, I'm back in Manchester. I'll be back in the house in, like, 20 minutes. There's no way that's tricepsis. No way. And I came into my house. I sat on my couch with my suitcase just still in the living room. I didn't even unpack, which I usually do as soon as I get in. And then I was going to, like, watch the kill. And I didn't have a smart TV, so I was going to watch it on my phone. So I sat down, I got my phone out. And as it did, my phone rang with an unknown number. And it was this guy from Red Bull in the Sweden office. And he was like, hi, the team has asked, will you come back to London and do the post show? Because they got the world first.
The ancients disappeared thousands of years ago.
And I was like, I was very confused.
To find sanctuary from the corrupt.
What does that do?
In some cases,
mana per hit. Okay. I was very confused because they had casters still on site. And part of me was like, this feels really rude. Like, obviously I'm saying yes, because why wouldn't I? Because it's a great honor. I considered it a massive honor. I also was like, is this going to cause problems? Because they literally have casters there. And I was like, who am I working with? It's like, it's just you. It's literally just you. I was like... Okay. And it did turn out, actually, like... It did turn out that they, like, shipped the casters out extremely quickly after the Race to World First to stop paying for hotels and things, because the Race to World First still wasn't exactly profitable at the time. So they were shipping the casters out immediately. But one thing that was really cool, talking about money and stuff. So for my first ever, those 3 days, I was paid £40 a day. That was my casting rate. It was £40 a day. For a full day's work, not exactly great. But I was there on the prestige of it, right? Like, I was there on the prestige. Yeah, £40. I'd have to go back and check the invoices, but I'm pretty sure it was £42. It was £40 a day plus hotel and travel expenses. Which was just your travel. It wasn't your food or anything, because they expect you to just go and get your food. But it was £40 a day. But coming back, though, and doing the this post-show, they gave me £400. Like, that's how quickly my rate went up. After I'd done my casting. It went from £40 a day to £400 a day to do this 1 6-hour show. So I was like, Jesus Christ, like, that's insane. Like, of course I'm coming. Yeah, no problem. Because they realized it was like part of an inconvenience fee. It's like, we get it. We, like, sent you home. We actually need you to get back on the train in about 45 minutes. We've extended your hotel room, but we kind of need you back in London in the next 3 hours to start preparing for this show. So I didn't ask any details at all. It was like, it was going to be a post-show. Sure. So I'm going to do it. So I called Emma and I was like, listen, you're not going to believe this. But she didn't care. She was super happy for me. She'd been watching the race and she was like, everyone was so cool. Like, the audience really liked you being on. They made memes. It was like spam this preach to get back on. She was like super proud of me. So she was totally fine with it. She was like, it's no problem. Like, I'm excited for you. Go and have fun. I never even saw my wife, like, when I came home. I literally got in my living room and then got back in another taxi and went straight back to the train station and got on the next train out. Well, I got back down there, and then I had to go to the studio, right? So it was pretty late by this point. So I left at 2. I was back home for 4:30. And I was then back in London for 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., something like that. So it's getting pretty late. And then I got back to the studio, and most people had already left. Like, the casters had already been, like, shipped out somewhere. So then I asked the obvious question. What is the post-show? And then it got really bad. Me and she said, right, it'll just be you for 6 hours. What we're going to do is we're going to sit down with the players that are here. We are getting Method Josh here as quickly as possible because he was the big-time streamer, man. He was the Twitch face of Method. We're getting Method Josh on a train immediately to get here to be part of it because it'll boost views, which is not the wrong decision at the time. It was not the wrong decision at the time. It made total sense to me. And what we'll have you do is you'll sit down with a rotating group of players because, and this was the bit that really sort of hit home, the players don't want to do it. They finished the race world first. They are done. They don't want to do this. They can't be arsed. They just want to chill and relax. They've been racing for the last, I mean, back then, what was it, like fucking 4 days or something? Pussies. And they just want to chill and party and celebrate. But they have to do this because it's part of the Red Bull contract. They have to do this post-show. Okay. And then she said, can I trust you to prepare the post-show? I went, what? Well, it's like 8:30, 9 p.m., right? She went, well, what we have is a really big video screen that looks awesome. Like, right? And I'm talking about like a 10-foot by 10-foot video screen. So we want it to look super awesome. So what we need from you is to go through the week, which I hadn't watched because I was traveling some of it and they killed every boss in the first day, pretty much. And then spent the next 2 days on fucking Blockade and the next 3 on Jaina or some shit. And find all the relevant clips for each boss so that we can do a boss by boss breakdown of the whole pathway with clips. And what we need you to find is funny POVs and angles of because they'd recorded every POV of like the 9 players that were there. And they'd also had people streaming at home. Find all the POVs and the points for each fight. That we can bring up on the screen that you can then ask the players about. These moments that tell the story. And they said, we don't really know what we're looking at. Because, again, we had the Counter-Strike team. Which is why they were super awesome on instant replay and all that kind of stuff. But they knew fuck all about World of Warcraft outside of Mariella. And it's like, the team doesn't know what they're looking for. We've just got all this footage. So can you go through that? And I was like, yeah. Because I'm being paid more than I ever thought possible. And this week has been nuts. And I've been brought back. I've literally spoke to one of the big cheeses of fucking Red Bull. Like, absolutely I can do that. So they put me... Anybody who's in Limit or Pieces that's here will know about the weird, tiny studio that was in London, because they did the Limit and Pieces right there. So I was like, okay. And then they gave me a guy who could skim... But this guy... You know when someone's doing a job that's like, I could do this faster myself? All the guy was doing was opening the folders and double-clicking the files. And then I'm like, no, it's the boss before this. No, the one after this. No, this is the trash. And I was like, it's fine. Just leave me to it. I can find it. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm now directing you to skim through footage that you don't understand what you're looking at. Like, I'll do this. And then my savior, and I miss him a lot because he was fucking awesome. Potter, Mr. Potter, came into the room to say hi, because he hadn't had a chance to say hi. And I'd never spoken to him before, and he came to say hi, and I went, Potter, help me. He went, what? It's like, I've got to do this. Oh, I assume we like these braziers. I've got to do this thing, and it's really awkward. Can you help me? And he went, no problem. Absolutely. Me and Potter sat there, and it was like 10 p.m. We sat there and went through all this footage and put all these clips together with timestamps for everybody's POV. Together. Oh, what an absolute legend. Yeah, Potter turned out to be awesome. Potter actually ended up co-casting the event with me. Am I done? More? Must be more braziers. Oh, there's one over there. So that went on till like midnight, and then they were like, right, the post show isn't till 6 p.m. tomorrow. I was like, okay. And what are we doing before that? And they went, absolutely nothing. The guys are partying. But what we're going to do is 3 hours of discussion. 3 hours of discussion with the players. Done. I did it. 3 hours of discussion with the players. And then they're going to do a viewer heroic raid. Can you imagine what the Race to World First champions would be bothered doing less the day after they killed the World First boss than doing a heroic viewer raid? Like, the faces on these guys was unbelievable. So you can imagine the mood of the players, right? Then Method Josh turns up, gets robbed at the train station. They steal his shoes. It's the first time I ever met Method Josh. Lo and behold, weird guy. Weird guy. So he turned up at the studio in a taxi with no shoes on. They stole his shoes. He said someone approached him at the train station with a knife. Hi, Zoe. Hello. And took his £20 that he'd brought with him and his shoes. Like, okay. Weird. By the way, the guys came on. And the only request I kept getting, and this video exists on YouTube, I think. If you type Red Bull Method something, you'll probably find this post show. It was to utilize the big screen. It then became apparent that there was a big problem. When I got to the studio at 5 p.m. The show was set to start at 6, I think, or something around those times, right? They have all the players on the big screen in a roster, color-coded with their classes, all that kind of stuff. Jimmy, aka Fragnance, is called Cum Bucket or something like that on his druid. I can't remember exactly what he was called, but his druid was called something like Jizz Monster or something like that. And I noticed it straight away. Seemingly nobody else on production did, because they were so impressed with their giant fucking screen that they had it quite. I went, you can't have that on the screen. Right? And they looked at it and they went, oh, God, no, we can't have that. And I was like, did nobody see this? And they're like, oh, what are we going to do? Because it's being pulled from the live game. I was like, and then they had to emergency get Jimmy to change the name of his druid. Because they'd set it all up so it worked, literally was pulling data from the fucking game or armory or something. Have it changed. This was like 20 minutes before we were supposed to start. Either way, we got that fixed. And then we get into it. And we're going to go boss by boss. And they gave me time slots. And again, it was my first time doing something like this. So I thought that sounded really reasonable. I had 10 minutes per boss. And I was like, you want me to spend 10 minutes on the Paladin boss of Battle for Azeroth? Or whatever the fuck that raid was called. The Jaina raid. I was like, that boss dies in about 45 seconds. You're giving me 10 minutes to ask about it? And they're like, yeah, otherwise we'll be short for when we start the heroic raid. And we want this 3-hour show. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I was like, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll probably get 5 minutes out of it, but we will get like 25 or 30 minutes on Jaina. Right? That's the way it's going to work. We can't do like 10 minutes on the first boss and 10 minutes on Jaina, which was what the plan was. I was like, we'll do like 2, probably 5 minutes here, but we'll get ages on Jaina and Stormwall Blockade. So we'll do it like that. It was like, oh, okay, as long as you meet the criteria. Battle for Azeroth, yeah, that's what it's called. So I was like, all right, we'll do that. So I sit down, and the way they did it is there was like 12 players in the arena, but they were going to cycle in and out per boss because the players didn't want to do it, and also there was too many players for the couch. So I would have like 4 or 6 at a time. And the only rule she gave me was like, you need to, your job as host is to make sure everybody talks, everybody gets to say, and nobody looks like a moron. That was my task. And then they'll swap players out each time, blah, 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 blah. And it'll work. So I was like, okay. A kind of tall order, and I didn't know how to do it. It was one of the first things I had to... Jordan asked me about, like, how do I know when to talk? And I'm like, okay, this is how I was taught to do it, and I'll give you a look. Is when I'm hosting, is that I'll give you a look. That means you're next up, or I'm going to ask you something. And now Jordan is amazing at it. Like, Jordan's so good. She's such a sponge for that information. That's why Jordan's so fun to work with. But it was my first time, so I was like... Anyway, it got started, and the main thing I had was, 1, don't make them look like morons. Oh! Hey, Nupss, I think we're at the dungeon. Create your Azoth staff. Is this the dungeon? Find group. Oh, I'm at the wrong place. Never mind. Oh, yeah. While I'm doing this, right, and it's got started, I made a point that I stood up every sort of 2 minutes, went over to the screen, and, like, pointed at things. So they would play a gameplay clip that I had found, and obviously I'd found them, so I knew what they were talking about. And then I'd have to stand in front of the screen and, like, use my hands to, like, point at certain areas, like, look at this bit here. And they loved that, because apparently they paid a fortune for this screen and not got any use out of it. So that worked. That was like my big task, was to do that. But while I'm talking to the guys and I'm asking them questions, the guys who absolutely fundamentally could not be fucked to do this in their entire lives, I'm being yelled at, and you can't hear it or anything. I am being fucking screamed at because the guys are low energy. I am being constantly screamed at. More energy. More. They look bored. More energy. Get more energy out of them. And you'll notice if you watch through that, like, it's not super interesting. But if you watch through it, you'll see points where I suddenly go, oh, what did you think of that? Like, because how the fuck do I get game players who can't be fucked, who are exhausted, to be more energetic? So I'm like... really, like, almost like Saturday morning cartoon lively at various points. And those are the points that I'm being yelled at because the guys look disinterested. And I'm like, but when you fell off the boat, when you fell off the boat, just wait, what were you feeling? Were you like, boiling up inside? Were you exploding at the time? He's like, no, I got knocked off a fucking boat. Like, it happens, right? She does a knockback. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, but really? Were you not, like, ripping your own heart out? Like, just, like, absolutely unbelievable shit like that. Like, so, but I'd, like, get more energy out of them. I'm like, okay, maybe if I'm energetic, they'll be more energetic. I don't fucking know. Like, what do you want me to say? So I was trying, like, super hard to do it. But anyway, we got through the 3 hours, and then the heroics raid started. I was like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do for the heroic raid. And they're like, you're going to cast the heroic raid because the viewers will find it really fun if you're casting them. Which I can kind of see. So I was like, okay. I cast the heroic raid. And then I did that, and Potter joined me and helped me out, and we casted the heroic raid. It was super fun for like 4 bosses. No, we did all the bosses. I think we did all the bosses. Well, then we have to queue for this. It's kind of cringe. Then they decided to do another one, which blew my mind. They decided to do another one. There we go. I was like, you want me to cast? And then Potter was going to play in that. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? And then it turned out that Mariella was going to play in it as well. So it was like you get to play alongside the production team and whatever. Why is this not working? I'm clearly making it and grabbing it. Why is it not working? There we go.
What a marvelous.
I could equip this thing, right?
A shame, for wood and metal can still be broken.
Okay, besides the item level, this one looks better. Oh, that's cool. Then it's decided I'll play in it. I'll play in the heroic raid. So it's like, okay, but I haven't like installed the game or checked my UI or anything like that. And what we'll do is we'll throw to the boys on comms because they're having a really good time. They were all giggling and taking the piss to each other. We'll put the comms on of the players and you can play in the raid. And what you'll have to do is you'll play in the raid, but when they want to take a break, which they were doing, you'll cover the breaks with like live reporting on the scene kind of thing. I was like, all right. And as I sat down to sort my UI out, this was kind of a blessing in disguise because I was fucking exhausted by this point. That 3 hours of talking to them about the bosses and shit and trying to get all this energy out of them, I was really tired. And then doing like an hour and a half of a heroic raid or whatever. So I sat at this desk with a headset on. And my job was to join the comms, the method comms, and then sort of like keep them talking, keep them motivated, keep them going. But they were raiding together. And they were doing really easy content. So the boys started shooting the shit. They were just bouncing at each other non-stop. And I didn't say a word for like half an hour. And I just started to chill the fuck out. I think I covered 1 ad break. And then I just like wasn't needed in the raid. Like more viewers wanted to get in. And they had like most of the method team in there.
Welcome back.
So I just like DM'd her saying, do you actually need me anymore? And she went, no, the guys are carrying it. It's totally fine. And we'll get them to do the sign off at the end. You can go if you want. And I dipped out and that was good fun. That was great in my eyes. I just fucking dipped. I was like, okay, bye. See you later. I'm going to bed. I'm fucking exhausted. I've been on the train backwards and forwards. I've been up all night sorting clips out. Chip off early? Yeah, chip off early. Job done. I carried it. It was good. Life was all great. And I got to go back. And I got to go home like first thing in the morning and see my wife. But all in all, what a tremendous and learning experience. Hi, son. You all right? Yeah. You had a good day? What you been doing? Been doing school? Horses? Okay. Well, I'm still working, so I'll come see you later, okay?
I'm getting...
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure you've got it. Your presentation was awesome. Yeah. Bye. Can you close that door? Make sure you brush your teeth, mate. You smell like grease. Are you having fish and chips, are you? Okay. Alright. Bye, mate. Having these fish and chips, the lad. So it's close to £400 a day when you, now when you do it. No, it changes a lot. It depends on what we're doing and what my involvement is and stuff like that. Like, one of the issues we ran into a few years ago is you earn... the problem is we have staff to pay. Like, I've talked to like Echo about this a few times. I love the Race to Worlds First so much that I would do it for free. I really would. But it's not just me, it's the team. I have people's wages to provide for and things like that, so I can't do it dirt cheap anymore. So the way we offset that is because they can't afford to pay the rate. I mean, many of you have been here through several Race to World First. Like, on many occasions, you come back and it might be like 2,000 or 3,000 subs down. Like, especially like if it's like a massively long race, that's people's salaries. That's not a joke. You know what I mean? That puts people's jobs in danger. So the way we offset that now is part of my deal when I cast is that I can stream while I'm there, so that the cost is reduced on whoever I'm casting for. So like that's the only way I can offset it is that way. So I can stream and get things done while I'm there. So typically I'll get a... Although I'd like to stream with the rest of the guys. Like, everybody gets a streaming setup for sure, but usually mine's in a separate room because apparently I'm very loud. But I do need to be able to stream at, like, set hours and do that kind of stuff.
We can mount Zeppler. So
that's what we go for. So Echo have been absolutely exceptional at that process. Shout outs to the whole Echo team. Like in Switzerland, although I didn't get to use it too much because people got sick. Main story myth with weapon. Oh, it's starting a new main story. Cool. Leave queue. Oh, what is this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Arena? What is this? No, I don't want to do arena. Don't want to do that. Where they got that? Yeah, so typically what happens is... The thing is, I always stream in the mornings as well. Which is usually primarily during the Americans' raid time. So during the Race to World First, because obviously there's several Americans who cast as well, is I arrive to start the stream as they're all raiding. So I'll walk in and Dratnos is usually raiding, Krista's usually raiding, or she's raiding the place for snacks. Tettles is usually raiding if... you know what they used to do for Tettles? This is totally true. None of the staff wanted to stay on site through the night, and Tettles needed to raid. And we always, when we were all raiding, obviously less of us like actively raid anymore, is that they would lock Tettles in the building on his own overnight. They would literally all leave, and they would just lock him in the building overnight. And in London, oh, yeah, it was actually that day. You remember I told you they needed to be dead early? I was so excited to cast. I got to the studio at 6 a.m. because I'd been told that, one, I had to be there for like 7, but that they were going to be setting up all the preparations for the world first kill as best, because we had this dead lock that the world first was happening that day. Like, it was unquestionable the world first was happening that day. That Mariella, like I said earlier, who is like a workaholic and puts so much pride and effort into this production, she wanted to set up all this extra stuff for the world first. So she told me, like, oh, we'll be here from like 6 a.m. No problem. Setting up for the race world first. So I couldn't sleep. I was too excited. So I went down. I left the hotel at like 4:45. I got there at maybe like 6:05 in the morning. and was banging on the door, and it was locked. And I was like, what the fuck? Where is everybody? It's World First Day. Why isn't everybody here? What the fuck? It's World First Day, god damn it. Everybody should be here, primed and ready, and fucking pumped to the tits. Everybody should be jacked up. And anyway, Tettles answers the door in just his... he had his clothes on, but it was... no shoes on or anything, and his shirt was like half open because he'd been up all night. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I've been raiding all night. And I was like, what do you mean? And he just, like, I've been locked in. They just locked me in the building overnight. He'd been doing it every night since he'd been there, and he'd been there for like 8 days. They just seal me in here at night so I can raid and do M+ or whatever. And he can't leave. He literally can't, like, leave the building because he hasn't got the key. So if he stays, he has to stay all night. Oh, these are high level, and I'm dying. Okay. Let's not die. Oh, these potions are much better. True hardcore gamer. Yeah. But yeah, I don't... I'm actually banned from taking part in any of the negotiations to Race to World First. Nupps does it on my behalf because he knows I would be like... Because like the last Race to World First was a little dodgy. And I think everybody had to take a pay cut on the last one. Because they'd... oh yeah, disorganized Twitch TV. Twitch TV, which is one of the biggest sponsors of the Race to World First. The guy who'd handled all the sponsorships and stuff had left Twitch, and the new guy just didn't respond to any emails or anything. Even though they're totally happy to sponsor it, and they get a lot of money out of it and a lot of attention out of it, they like do really... Even though Twitch does exceptionally well at the Race to World First, obviously it's the most viewed event on Twitch year after year. They just didn't reply to any emails. So I remember Roger called me. He's like, dude, we've got a problem. One, we don't have a venue because we were supposed to, I think, go back to Switzerland where we had it last time. But without Twitch sponsorship, we couldn't Echo couldn't afford the event there. So they had no venue for the Race to World First. This is like 2 weeks or something before the World First. And not like, you know, the money to pay the casters and stuff just wasn't there. They were like, obviously we desperately, we want you guys there big time, but can we do it, you know, it's going to be like less pay and things like that. But I mean, I was fine with it. I understood. It happens. It got sorted in the end though, because thankfully it was like having friends in the right places, because ESA, the European Speedrun Assembly, had a friend involved somewhere down the line, and ESA were like, you can use our venue where we run the European Speedrun Assembly. We could do it there, and we'll try and get you in contact with Twitch and stuff like that, so it worked out. ESA is basically GDQ of Europe, but like amazing people. Absolutely amazing people. Though, if you watched the last Race to World First when I was streaming from Switzerland, you'll know they like brought me cinnamon muffins. They made us smoothies every morning. Like they were I sat and talked with them about speedrunning and all sorts of stuff for ages. Just chilling with the dudes. They were super, super nice. Just probably didn't eat for a month. No. I think if you want to accept the good times in a working relationship, you accept the less good times as well. Certainly if you're working with friends that you trust. So yeah, no problem in my eyes. No such thing as no give and take in business. It happens both ways. People who just take the greedy fucks. Those are your Bobby Koticks. Take. Okay, these are really tough. It happens, yeah, like... it happens on occasion, like, and nobody wants it. It's not like Echo wants to have that conversation with me, and I don't want to have it with them either, but, like, we're grown-ups. Like, it happens. Sometimes you get an email from someone like Twitch saying they're taking a big fucking giant chunk of your revenue. Tough shit. It happens. Oh. Oh god, they shot me through the wall. I was trying to line of sight around the wall. Got him. Yeah, for sure. Is this you being a nice guy and not wanting to be like what you thought Rick was? Big dicking? No, no, not at all. No, I adore the Race to World First so fucking much. It's insane. I love it. Absolutely love it. That atmosphere. The only time I've actively said no to the Race to World First is when it's been online only. I mean, not only of like in terms of Echo, and I've never said no to Liquid either. Is I've known those dudes for, like in Roger's case, I've known Roger for like 15 years. I've met them now dozens of times and been drinking with them, been partying with them. They, you know, many of their members have been to that other wedding I went to. Like, they're my friends. And if you guys have met me in real life, which many of you have, I adore meeting you guys and seeing you guys. And it's the same with them. Like, they're my friends. And we get to work together, and I've seen the highs and the lows. You know, I've casted their losses. I've casted their wins. One thing I really like about Echo, but I've never gotten to experience it with Liquid, I should say, is we can be really brutally honest with each other about opinions and stuff, even when we really disagree. Like, we can hash stuff out. Like, if you sit and... It's hard to describe unless you're in that situation, but sitting and talking with Scripe, Roger, and Mirez about maybe their raid performance. Like we did at the last race. They lost the last race, you know, and there were other things going on, but I also felt they didn't play as well as Liquid. But they know that's not coming from a place of fuck you. It's coming from, okay, what happened here? From another perspective. Like, from what I saw, because I watched them constantly, obviously, during the race. I was like, yeah, there were other things going on. The last boss was a little cringe. Everybody was overgeared. The race only lasted 2 days. You know, what's a 2-day race? You can't change the world for a 2-day race. I also felt that Liquid played better. Like, that's what I saw. I think I saw some weaknesses. So we can have those conversations, knowing that it's from a place of wanting them to get better and to win and do all that kind of stuff. That Twitch chat perspective. A place where you can say things which, you know, when you've got really close friends, you can say things that, like, if strangers said it would come across as offensive. Well, they know, and me and Roger have talked about this a lot. It's like, it comes from a place of friendship and love, like, genuinely. I think you have to be... One thing you always have to be careful, certainly with Race to World First, is to get bogged down in excuses. And I've spoken to Max about this as well. Because it's you know, it happens on both ends of the spectrum. Is if something happens that's really cringe, like Razageth getting busted, you know, like Blizzard just nerfs the fucking boss into the ground, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And the boss just fucking falls over. Like... It's very easy to, like, put 100% of your eggs in that basket, I think. Like, yeah, you know, this would have happened. The same with Side and Athreus. You know, it happens. Something happens near enough every race, which is kind of the point I've said. Something always happens. Very rare that something weird or awkward doesn't happen. But you can't put all the reasons for the loss in that basket most of the time. Sometimes you can, but not always. Oh, my closest friend Nupss cuts every time. Yeah. It's the kind of relationship you want. No malice. This is what I'm saying. There's no malice there. This is why I've had similar conversations with Max and stuff. And really enjoyed them. Really wonderful people to talk to. At the last race, there was no better time I had, actually, than talking to Mirez after the race. I think during the party, because they had a party afterwards. I think I sat with Mirez for like 3 hours. Now, I will say, a good portion of that was laughing at Scripe and how long it takes him to post a tweet. A good hour and a half of that was me and Mirez laughing hysterically because we were sat 2 or 3 PCs down from Scripe. Because it was like Scripe, 3 or 4 people, then Mirez at the end. And I was sat next to Mirez, because Mirez doesn't drink. And Mirez was wanting to get back into Final Fantasy XIV. He wanted to get back to raiding. And he was also kind of considering not being part of the Race to World First anymore, because it was a 2-day race that took like 6 months of preparation. Right, boys. What's up? No. I'm working. You can't. Sorry, boys. I'm going to be finished after you go to bed. I've got an interview coming up and stuff. Yeah, sorry, boys. No Fortnite tonight. Now they've realised the side effect of having a gaming room that's shared. But yeah, so I was sat with Mirez. He was installing Final Fantasy XIV while we were there. So we had a chit-chat. And then it got talking. And anyway, we look over at what Scripe's doing. I think Scripe was playing League or something like that. But then he started to, like, people were tweeting about the race. It was a 2-day race, blah, blah, blah. All that was going on. And Scripe is, like, carefully drafting these replies for Twitter. And every word is, like, so considered, thought out. And I suggested, because there was, like, members of Echo and Liquid and other guilds that were in this, like, Twitter thread. I suggested that what he should do instead was just post 3 question marks and reply to every tweet everybody's doing with just 3 question marks, like you just don't understand what they're saying. Even though it's blatantly obvious. Just keep posting 3 question marks over and over, and just tweet that out. Just over and over again. I was a little drunk by this point, but to me, in my brain, it was fucking hilarious that, like, these really serious conversations were going on about, was the boss hard enough? Was gear a factor? Should it last long enough? Scribe should just be like, question mark, question mark, question mark, all the time. Like, he just doesn't understand what's going on. I will say Scribe was fucking pissing himself at the idea of it, because he was being so careful and Mirez was trolling him so hard. But those are the moments I live for at the Race to World First. Not only, like, the kills and working with Alex and Jordan and all the rest of the team. But that shit like that is... that's the friendship side of it, rather than the business side of it. I love that shit. So good. I could have done that all fucking day. How do I get in here? Hello? He wasn't being political either. He was just making sure that his response, like, made sense. That it was objective. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Just post 3 question marks. Just make it look like he's super confused. How do you get in here? Like typing huh to everything. Huh? 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 Personally, I think the rate of acquisition was too quick. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, I actually think it's more appropriate, if not a little too slow. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Just constantly fucking doing it. Alex is such a cutie. Alex is awesome. Alex is so good at communication that he replies to you immediately when he's drunk. I texted him 2 weeks ago or something, and he was in Thailand. And he immediately replied. He went, sorry, dude, I can't answer anything. I'm currently on a beach. I'm really drunk. And, yeah. And then I ended up talking to him for like 45 minutes. Still wanted to talk. He just didn't want to talk about any work stuff.
Accepted the power, and they will know the destiny of the land is already decided.
Is this going to be a worm? Am I going to get Eater of Worlds? I mean, Alex is a treasure, but he still made it so my last major boss progress fight was Stone Legion General's mythic. So from that perspective, Alex is the worst person that's ever lived. I just realised the time. I'm late for Zeppler. Oh, she's messaged me. Oh, she's being all professional. Oh, bless her. Hey, Mike. Really looking forward to our chat today. Aw. Oh, I'm stunned. Oof. Oh, this thing hurts. Okay. Hello? Woohoo! Calm down, boss. Oh. God, even shield blocking that doesn't work. Okay, I tank you DPS. Sounds like a good deal. Give her the question. No, she says, what does she say? Are you ready for a sound and video check sometime between now and when we start at 19:30 BST? It's just that through a Discord video call and will take 1 to 2 minutes. Dear Zeppler, thank you for sending this kind message. I will make myself available at your earliest convenience. Thank you. Mike. Apostrophe. Reach. No, sincerely. Yeah, sincerely. We'll go with sincerely. Perfect. Kind regards. Please advise. Oh, please advise is the worst. Respectfully. Oh, gross. Absolutely gross. Best wishes.
Raise your fist to the stormy sky, if you must. You are
as per my last Discord message.
You do not have to.
Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting.
Give in and join us.
Oh, I feel really bad though. She sent me that at 6 PM. That was an hour and a half ago. I mean, I'm streaming. She could have come in and said, check Discord, dickhead. Right? Honestly, it's her fault. We're all agreed, right? Can I Hearthstone out of here? We've got to do a sound check, dudes. No corporate slavery. You got to check your mail at least 2 times in 10 minutes. Who was telling me... Oh, Yelenkalo, thank you very much for the sub. Who was telling me that they had... oh, it was the Linus Tech Tips things, right? If you don't reply to an email within 5 minutes, they don't trust that you're actually working. Something like that. Classic Nupps, actually, with Pancake Break. Can I not afford to fast travel? I actually can't. How do you earn these, I haven't checked in. Okay, this podcast is starting. I'm going to have to log out here. Oh, right, give me 2 minutes. This podcast is starting in 4 minutes. I haven't even seen my family. Give me a sec. Oh, okay. Right, we're doing a sound check. We're doing a sound check. Right, I'll have to turn the stream off. Head over to Zepla's channel. I'm not sure if she's live yet. Zepla HQ, isn't it? You live? Awesome. All right, I'll be there in a sec.